Hey guys, this is Cooking with Kurt, and today I'm going to show you how to make a red ribbon style Choco Mocha crunch cake. It's a chocolate chiffon cake with mocha cream frosting and honeycomb candy. This recipe was requested by Kian Chloe, Eileen Reyes, and Maria Trinidad. A big shout out to all of you, I hope you like this video. To start, we're going to make the honeycomb candy. Take an 8x8 inch Pyrex dish or pan, and roughly line it with an oversized piece of parchment paper to make sure the honeycomb candy doesn't stick to the dish. Then, in a small saucepan, add 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1/4 cup of corn syrup, 2 tablespoons of honey, and half a cup of water. Make sure that all of the sugar is moistened, but do not stir. At this point, go ahead and measure out 2 teaspoons of baking soda and set it aside. Turn the heat on to high. You'll see that the sugar will begin to dissolve and the ingredients will start to meld together even without stirring. Once the mixture starts to boil, attach a candy thermometer. And I repeat, do not stir. And make sure that the heat is on the highest level, otherwise the sugar won't become hot enough. We're going to keep heating this mixture till it reaches 300 degrees Fahrenheit, also called the hard crack stage, which should take about 10 minutes depending on how strong your flame is, so make sure it's high. Also have your baking soda, your whisk, and your parchment paper lined dish ready because the next few steps are going to happen very fast. As soon as the thermometer hits 300 degrees Fahrenheit, turn off the heat, unclip the thermometer, bring your saucepan close to the parchment paper lined dish, add the 2 teaspoons of baking soda, quickly whisk the mixture for about 5 seconds. You'll see it's starting to foam up, then pour this foaming mixture into your parchment paper lined dish. And now you can breathe. Whew. Let this cool for about 1 hour, till the honeycomb candy hardens. Then lift it out of the dish using the parchment paper. Then break it into pieces using a knife. It's okay that you get both big and small chunks of honeycomb candy. The big pieces will be used for the cake topping, while the little pieces will be put between each cake layer. Store the honeycomb candy in an airtight container so that they stay crunchy till we're ready to use them. Now we're going to make the chocolate chiffon cake layers. Preheat your oven to 340 degrees Fahrenheit, then take 8 eggs and separate the yolks and the egg whites. Set these aside and let them come to room temperature. Then take 2 9-inch round cake pans and line them with parchment paper. No need to butter or grease the sides. Then soak 2 cake strips with cold water for 5 minutes. Shake off excess water, but do not wring, and then place them around the prepared cake pans. If you don't have cake strips, you can watch my ube overload cake video starting at the 22-second mark to learn how to make your own cake strips using just paper towels and aluminum foil. Then take a glass measuring cup, add in 3/4 cup of hot coffee and half a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder and mix it well. And let it cool. Then take a large mixing bowl made out of glass or stainless steel with a sieve. Add 2 1/4 cups of cake flour, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, half a cup of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Sift this into the mixing bowl. Then add in 8 room temperature egg yolks, half a cup of vegetable oil, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and the coffee cocoa mixture we had prepared earlier. And mix this together until just combined. Now we're going to make the meringue mixture. In a separate stainless steel or glass bowl, add in the 8 room temperature egg whites and 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Beat them together on high speed till it's nice and frothy. Then slowly add in 3/4 cup of granulated sugar and continue beating this mixture. When you start to see stiff glossy peaks, like this, the meringue mixture is done. We're going to slowly add this meringue mixture to the cake mixture and gently fold it in 1/3 of the meringue mixture at a time till it's well combined. Be sure to really scrape the bottom of the bowl for unmixed cake mixture. Then divide this batter equally between the 2 prepared cake pans. And we're going to bake these in our preheated oven at 340 degrees Fahrenheit for, depending on your oven, about 35 to 45 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted at the center of the cake comes out clean and the surface bounces back when gently pressed. Invert the two cakes onto wire racks and let them cool for about 5 minutes. Once they've cooled for a bit, it should be easy to lift off the pans, peel off the parchment paper, and let them cool completely to room temperature. While the cakes are cooling, we can work on the Mocha Swiss Meringue Buttercream frosting. Again, take a big stainless steel or glass mixing bowl, add in 5 egg whites, 1.5 cups of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and whisk this together. Set up a double boiler on medium-low heat and continue whisking this mixture till the sugar dissolves. It's ready when the mixture is sticky, but you no longer feel any grains of sugar. With a candy thermometer, the temperature should reach 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Then take it off the double boiler and beat this mixture with an electric beater until you see stiff, glossy peaks forming, like this. Let this mixture cool down to room temperature. While we're waiting for our egg white sugar mixture to cool down, prepare 2 cups, which is 4 sticks, of unsalted butter and slice it into 1-inch pieces and set it aside, letting it come to room temperature. Then take a small saucepan, add in half a cup of dark chocolate and 3 tablespoons of instant coffee. Melt this over medium heat and mix it together till the coffee has dissolved. Set this aside and let it cool. When the egg white mixture has cooled down to room temperature, while continuing to beat, slowly add in the cubes of room temperature butter that we had prepared, 1 or 2 cubes at a time, till all the butter is incorporated and the mixture is smooth, like this. Finally, add in 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract and the chocolate coffee mixture and mix it in till it's fully incorporated and smooth, like this. Finally, just take a spoon and scrape down the sides and bottom of the bowl. Set this aside. When the cakes have cooled completely, take a serrated knife and slice the 2 cakes horizontally in half, like this, to make 4 layers of cake. Put the first layer on a cake stand or plate. Then cover the top of this first cake round with enough mocha frosting to make a 1/4 inch layer and spread it evenly over the cake. Then sprinkle some of the small bits of honeycomb pieces over the top. Similarly, place the second cake layer on top. Then evenly spread mocha frosting on top, 1/4 inch layer again. Then sprinkle more bits of honeycomb pieces. Place the third cake layer, evenly spread mocha frosting again to make 1/4 inch layer, and sprinkle the small bits of honeycomb pieces on top. For the final layer, place the cake cut side down so the top of the cake is as flat as possible. Fill the cracks along the sides of the cake with the mocha frosting, and then frost the sides and top of the cake. To create the chocolate brush strokes in the red ribbon design, we're going to make a chocolate ganache. So take a small saucepan, add 1/4 cup of heavy cream, heat over medium heat, and once you see it steaming but not yet boiling, turn off the heat. Add half a cup of dark chocolate into a bowl and pour the hot, heavy cream over it. Whisk this together till it becomes smooth and uniform and set it aside to cool for a bit. After the ganache has cooled a little but is still a bit liquidy, dip the back of your spatula into the chocolate ganache, like this. Then using the back of the spatula, make strokes of chocolate into the mocha frosting starting at the bottom of the cake with an upward diagonal stroke, like this, to create a paintbrush-like pattern. Wipe down the excess chocolate from the spatula after every stroke. It really is like you're painting with chocolate. The cake is your canvas and your spatula is your brush. When you've made this pattern all the way around the bottom of the cake, do the same thing with the upper half of the cake, so that we create 2 levels of these brush strokes up the sides of the cake, like this. Then create the same pattern around the top outer circumference of the cake, going about 1 inch from the edge, like this. To finish off the decoration, grab a handful of the bigger chunks of honeycomb candy and create a big mound of honeycomb candy in the middle. Then finally, take some leftover dark chocolate and either chop it as small as you can or grate it. Then sprinkle it to create a circle around the mound of honeycomb candy, like this. Let the cake rest in the fridge overnight to set and let all that chocolate and mocha flavors meld together. Then leave it out at room temperature for about 30 minutes before serving to let the frosting soften up again before cutting. And there it is, our red ribbon style Choco Mocha Crunch Cake. Ang sarap. So good. This cake is a perfect combination of that rich chocolate coffee flavors with an extra crunch from the honeycomb candy. Please let me know in the comment section below if you're planning to make this Choco Mocha Crunch Cake. And if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Cooking with Kurt. Maraming salamat!